have to get the miniaturization better as we go forward. But what Watson does, first of all and foremost, it understands natural language. Right now it only speaks English. All right, I have to explain this to everybody in Europe every time I go over. All right, I was explaining, 3 weeks ago I was in Barcelona explaining to people who speak Catalan why we hadn't prioritized Catalan above English, right? You know, so it's, you know, you always do English first, you damn Americans. All right, so it understands natural language. Now, there's a lot of nuances. If you think about natural language and the words I've been using to talk, understanding the nuances in natural language is very difficult. Right? And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. The second thing it does is it generates hypothesis, so potential answers, right? And then it learns when it gets it wrong, or it learns when it gets it right. It changes its confidence meter on a particular connection that it's created between different types of information inside its system, right? Now, if you think through that 1, 2, 3 steps, and you think through how we teach our children, right? And I'll draw the parallel on why people came up with the system the way they did. If you think of our kids when they go to school, we give them lots of stuff to read, right? And then to figure out whether or not they understood what they read, we ask them questions. We put those questions in the form of a test. And that test becomes a reinforcement mechanism as to whether or not they understood what they read or they didn't read. Right? So that helps build their confidence. Right? That confidence helps them know the next time they get answered that question, whether to choose a different answer because they were wrong, or they know the answer because it's there. When we work in a new area with Watson, we get lots of information, and we essentially make the system read the information. And it processes all the natural language, and it stores it. And if it processes a piece of information, it says this paper is white, and it stores it today. And tomorrow it gets an information that says the paper is actually, I don't know, manila as opposed to white. It'll store that too. And then it'll recognize there's a conflict. Right? And it has to draw a link between that conflict and the information, much the same way we do. Right? So what I'm not telling you is that Watson is not a human. It doesn't think. But what it does is it mimics the way we learn. We take lots of information, and then we start to connect the dots.